So this is question number 9, and this is the very last question on the paper. So the first thing to do for this question is to recap what the scenario of the actual whole paper was, and that is Urban Duo Team is a new city-centred based sports event that is being launched in the UK. Teams of 2 athletes will compete on mountain bikes on a specially built 5-kilometre course before running 5 kilometres around the city streets. Each athlete completes their ride and run before handing over to their teammate. The aim of the event is to bring a new exciting team sport to cities in the UK to help encourage people to get involved in sport. A sports drink company has already agreed to sponsor a competition which will take place in 6 cities. So therefore, these are the aspects that we need to focus on. It's in the cities, it's running and cycling, it's going to be for young adults as well, and it's all going to be UK based, and they're the aspects we need to look at on the mood board, which is provided just before the question. So the question says, discuss the suitability of the content of the layout in the mood board in figure 1 for the marketing team. So that's our target audience who will be looking at the mood board, and you should include any areas of improvement. So you're going to be looking at the strengths and weaknesses of the mood board and how suitable it is to promote the brand image of the actual events and the company. So these are the areas you should be focused on: suitability of the images, relevance to sports event, relevance to city locations, suitable detail and annotations, colours, fonts, fitness for purpose, suitability for the target audience, so the marketing team, and suitability for the target audience of the actual sports event. So you don't have to talk about every single one, because obviously you've only got 12 marks and you probably only want to spend 12 to 15 minutes maximum on answering the question anyway. So if we look at the images first, we can see that we've got a wasteland font, we've got people running, another person running, we've got city streets all in black and white as well, someone riding through forest on a mountain bike, you've got a skate park, some more runners running along which look to be some streets, a young person on a bike, some cans, picture of Paris, some quotes, an advertising campaign for a sports drink, and then a picture of triathlon. So first thing would be, so the mood board to be given to the marketing team has a number of strengths, weaknesses and areas of improvement. So you just want to, because you're being judged on your written communication, you just want to outline what you're going to be talking about to start with. So in terms of the strengths, it has some pictures that are relevant to the sports events. For example, the picture of the 3 men running on the street, the lady running along the city with the city in the background, and the legs of a runner, all relevant as running is one of the main events and the locations are UK cities. So first of all, we talked about how relevant the pictures are for the UK cities, and we've also talked about the relevance in terms of the sports, the running and the cycling. The images of young adults are also relevant as they are the target audience for the events, those who will be taking part. A further strength is a picture of the city street with the landmark in the background, really relevant to the location of Urban Duo Team event locations. In addition, the picture of the energy drink bottle is very relevant, linking in with the sponsor of the event. The words "believe in yourself" is a positive message that can be used to promote the brand image of the business and its events. All these images can be correctly used by the marketing team in order to correctly create a brand image for the Urban Duo Team events. So we focused on the strengths there. We talked about the relevant pictures in terms of the events, the running and the cycling, and we've also talked about the sponsorship with the energy drink bottle, which links nicely with that, so that could be used in order to create the brand image. So always keep the marketing team in mind when you're writing. And then we can move on to the weaknesses. So in terms of weaknesses, the mood board, there are images that are not relevant to the sports events, city locations and the target audience for the events. So we've got this picture of this young man on his bicycle here, which isn't very relevant because it's not aimed at children, it's aimed at young adults, and it's also not going to have young people taking part in the work, so that's an irrelevant picture. We need to get rid of that. And we've also got this picture of this person riding a mountain bike through the woods. So you could argue that mountain biking is relevant, but the location through the woods might confuse people, and might also confuse the marketing team that we need to promote it as being cycling through a woodland area where it's all about UK cities. So it's about urban, isn't it? It's urban events. That's the brand image we need to promote. We've also got the triathlon picture here. So cycling is good, running is good, but swimming is not one of the events. So you don't want to be promoting a triathlon event because there is no swimming. And then we've got this picture of Paris as well. So as it's all UK cities, the picture of Paris is irrelevant. So once again, we need to get rid of that, and we don't want to miscommunicate that message to the target audience of young adults. People might see it and think, I can take part if I live in France, or particularly in Paris. That's where it might be, but it needs to be all about UK cities. So we don't want to confuse the marketing team, and we don't want to confuse our target audience of young adults as well. Another one is the skate park here. So the skate park picture, that's irrelevant as well, because there are no skating events taking place. So that's not something we want to promote, and we might confuse the customer as well. And the cans as well. So we've got the cans. Picture of the cans aren't really good. So you've got a picture of the can tops. It's not actually for a particular product. We can't see it's an energy drink can product. So once again, that needs to go. So then we can move on to looking at the improvements we could make. So we could say we could add colour. So at the moment it's just black and white. It's quite boring. The marketing team won't know what colours to be used. A colour scheme would be good to outline to the marketing team so they know what colours to be used, or they might just use a range of images which might not suit. So we need to be explicit, and that's where the annotations come in. So the marketing team would benefit from having annotations explaining what images need to be used, what colours need to be used, what fonts need to be used, all that kind of stuff as well. And then an improvement would be to remove those unnecessary images. So the Paris, the child on the bike, the man riding through the forest, and then the skate park picture, and then get rid of the triathlon picture, because we don't want to confuse our target audience or the marketing team who will be making the marketing campaign and promoting the brand image. Another improvement could be, so rather than having someone riding through woodland, we could have them riding through city streets to show, once again, we're linking in the UK cities, and then the fact that mountain biking is taking place as part of that urban streets. Also about the layout as well. So some of them are overlapping, so you can't fully see what the image is behind. You could then straighten them all up and separate them. That could be something you might want to do, or you might point out that if these images are supposed to be at an angle, then an annotation would be good, so the marketing team know explicitly that this is how they should be set out. You could even argue that you could group particular pictures together. So some of them over here, so some of the running pictures are together, but then there's another running picture over here. So maybe group all the running pictures in one section, or the mountain bike in another, and the city locations in another as well. So that's the main argument of this question, is to make sure that you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, and then also talk about the improvements that you would make for your storyboard. So we'll go look at the mark scheme now, and we'll look at how this answer provided here would do if this was an actual answer you gave in the exam. So now if we look through the actual mark scheme, we could, if we start at level 2, just start with, so errors in spelling, punctuation and grammar, so we haven't got any of those. The top of level 2, the answer will be presented in the context of the marketing event. Okay, so we got that. Some improvements may be suggested, but they will not be wholly suitable. So the improvements we suggested are suitable, so we'll skip that one for the moment. Candidates will provide a good understanding of the question with strengths, weaknesses of mood board being described. This may be one-sided. So we have given strengths and weaknesses on both sides, and we're given the improvement. So I'd say we're moving to level 3 now. Subject-specific terminology will be used correctly, and there will be a few of any errors in spelling, grammar. Yes, we have that. The suggested improvements will be well thought through and explained in context. So we've explained the improvements in terms of making sure that the marketing team actually know what to include, talked about the target audience, and so forth. The strengths, weaknesses, and mood board considered an equal weighting. So we're slightly more weaknesses than strengths. So we could would be moving ourselves down into the level 3 towards the bottom end rather than the top end. Candidates provide an excellent understanding of the question and a clear explanation of the suitability of the mood board for use by the target audience, the marketing campaign. So we've talked about how the marketing campaign, how suitable the images and things are for the marketing team. So we've talked about that as well. So overall, I would say this is a level 3, probably a 10 or 11 marks. It's not top because we haven't fully given a good weighting of the strengths and weaknesses, so a 10 or 11 is a good outcome, and that's probably the best we could hope for on that answer there. Hopefully that's helped. If it has, let let me know in the comments, or like and subscribe, or if you want to see any more additional answers for the mood board, let me know and I'll add those in. Thank you for watching.